Rules number 1. Own your ambition. No apologies. Own your identity. Success isn't handed to you, it's claimed. It's built on resilience, audacity, and the refusal to accept limits. The journey from obscurity to global recognition demands more than talent. It requires an unshakable mindset. Here are 12 rules to carve your own path, inspired by those who've turned dreams into legacies. First, own your ambition without apology. Society will call you too much, too bold, too hungry, too unrealistic. Ignore it. The world's most transformative figures were once called delusional until their vision became reality. Write your goals in ink, not pencil, and pursue them with relentless focus. Second, reframe failure as setup, not defeat. Every misstep is data, not destiny. The greatest comebacks in careers, art, or personal growth are born from lessons learned in the trenches. Fall but fall forward. Third, think like a global citizen. Borders are lines on maps, not limitations on potential. Master adaptability, learn languages, embrace cultures, and let curiosity drive you. The future belongs to those who see the world as their stage. Fourth, outwork everyone in the room. Talent may open doors, but discipline keeps them open. Wake up earlier, stay later, and push beyond good enough. Excellence isn't an act, it's a habit. Fifth, reinvent yourself fearlessly. Industries evolve, trends shift, and comfort zones become cages. When change threatens your status quo, lead it. Shed old identities like skin. What got you here won't get you there. Sixth, speak up even when your voice shakes. Silence protects no one. Whether advocating for yourself or others, let conviction drown out doubt. The loudest voices start as whispers. Seventh, weaponize adversity. Life won't play fair. Expect bias, setbacks, and unfair fights. But obstacles are raw material for resilience. Let rejection fuel your hustle. Let doubters become motivators. Eighth, practice confidence like a skill. No one is born self-assured. Fake it until your courage catches up. Then own your space unapologetically. Confidence isn't arrogance. It's the armor of those who've earned their stripes. Ninth, balance hustle with self-worth. Grind but never grovel. Know your value so well that when others lowball you, their offers sound like static. Success without self-respect is empty. 10th, lift others as you climb. True icons build bridges, not thrones. Mentor, share credit, and celebrate peers. Rising tides lift all ships. Legacy isn't measured in trophies, but in lives touched. 11th, reject false choices. Love and ambition aren't rivals, they're allies. Build relationships that fuel your fire, not extinguish it. Never let anyone convince you that you must choose between passion and purpose. 12th, chase significance, not just success. Wealth fades, titles expire, but impact echoes. Ask, how will the world be different because you were here? These rules aren't shortcuts. They're the blueprint of those who refuse to be defined by circumstance. They are for the underdogs, the late bloomers, and the quietly determined, because the difference between dreaming and dominating isn't luck, it's the courage to play by your own rules and rewrite them when necessary. Ambition is your superpower, never shrink it. Expended in 550 words without subheading and conclusion, ambition is your superpower, never shrink it. Ambition is the quiet fire that burns within you, the relentless voice that whispers, you were meant for more. It's not arrogance, it's audacity. The audacity to believe that your dreams, no matter how grand, are valid. History's most transformative figures, inventors, artists, leaders, shared one trait. They refused to minimize their aspirations to fit the expectations of others. Your ambition is not a flaw to be corrected, it's your superpower. And like any superpower, it demands courage to wield. From the moment we're young, we're conditioned to temper our desires. Be realistic, don't get ahead of yourself. These phrases are subtle traps designed to keep us safely within the boundaries of what's predictable. But progress, personal and global, has never been born from playing it safe. The first rule of ambition is this: stop apologizing for it. When you declare your goals unflinchingly, you give others permission to do the same. Ambition is contagious. The world needs more people who dare to say, I want that, without hedging or hesitation. Yet, ambition alone isn't enough. It must be paired with action, or it becomes mere fantasy. The difference between those who dream and those who achieve is execution. Ambition is the blueprint, discipline is the construction. Every late night, every rejected draft, every moment of doubt pushed aside, these are the bricks that build empires. And here's the truth no one tells you. The road will test you. There will be days when your ambition feels like a burden, when the gap between where you are and where you want to be seems impossible. That's when you must dig deeper. The world rewards those who outlast their own doubts. Criticism is inevitable. The louder your ambitions, the more noise you'll attract. People will call you unrealistic, impulsive, even selfish. Let them. Their skepticism is not a reflection of your potential, but of their own limitations. When someone says you can't, what they often mean is, I didn't. Ambition disrupts the status quo, and disruption makes people uncomfortable, but comfort never changed the world. There's a myth that ambition requires sacrificing everything else: joy, relationships, integrity. That's a lie. True ambition isn't about burning out, it's about burning bright. It's possible to chase greatness and cultivate a life you love. The key is alignment, ensuring your ambitions serve your values, not the other way around. Never let success come at the cost of your humanity. The most respected figures aren't those who climbed highest, but those who lifted others as they rose. Finally, remember this: ambition is not a destination but a compass. It will evolve as you do. What excites you at 20 may not at 40. And that's growth, not failure. The goal isn't to arrive at some finish line, but to live with a heart that's always hungry for knowledge, for impact, for the next challenge. That hunger is what keeps you alive in the truest sense. So stand tall in your aspirations, speak them aloud, pursue them without apology. The world has enough people playing small. What it needs is you, unshrinking, unstoppable, and utterly convinced of your own potential. Because ambition, when wielded with purpose, doesn't just change your life, it changes everything. Failure is not the opposite of success, it's part of it. Expended in 550 words without subheading and conclusion. Society sells us a dangerous lie that failure and success exist on opposite ends of the spectrum. We're conditioned to view setbacks as final verdicts, as evidence we're not good enough. But the most accomplished people in any field understand this fundamental truth. Failure isn't the enemy of success, it's its most valuable teacher. Every stumble contains wisdom, every fall builds resilience, and every no redirects you to a better yes. Consider how we learn to walk as infants. We don't judge toddlers for falling, we understand it's part of the process. Yet somewhere along the way, we replace this natural understanding with shame. The reality is that mastery in any endeavor follows the same pattern: attempt, fail, adjust, repeat. Basketball legend Michael Jordan missed more than 9 shots in his career. Thomas Edison famously reframed his unsuccessful light bulb experiments saying, "I have not failed. I've just found 10 ways that won't work." These weren't defeats, they were necessary steps toward greatness. The fear of failure paralyzes more dreams than actual failure ever could. It keeps people from starting businesses, changing careers, or pursuing creative passions. But when we examine failure objectively, we see it's simply feedback, data telling us what needs adjustment. The scientific method itself is built on this principle: hypothesis, experiment, analyze results, refine, approach. In Silicon Valley, they've institutionalized this understanding with the mantra, fail fast, fail forward. The quicker you fail, the sooner you learn what works. Psychological research reveals that our most powerful growth comes from what's called productive failure situations, where we struggle with challenging problems before receiving instruction. This struggle creates deeper neural pathways and more durable learning. Similarly, studies of elite performers across fields show they don't experience fewer failures, they simply extract more value from each one. They maintain what psychologist Carol Dweck calls a growth mindset, viewing abilities as muscles that strengthen with effort rather than fixed traits. Failure also builds the emotional resilience required for significant achievement. Every time you survive a setback, you prove to yourself that you can endure discomfort and keep moving forward. Navy SEAL training operates on this principle by systematically taking candidates to their breaking points. They forge unshakable mental toughness. In everyday life, each small failure we overcome makes us less afraid of the next challenge. This creates a virtuous cycle where we become willing to take calculated risks, which leads to greater rewards. The most successful people don't have magical immunity from failure. They've just developed a different relationship with it. They've learned to separate their self-worth from outcomes, understanding that a rejected proposal or failed venture doesn't define them. They analyze what went wrong without personalizing it, extract the lesson, and apply it to their next attempt. This mindset transforms failure from a stop sign into a stepping stone. In our pursuit of excellence, we must redefine what failure means. It's not the opposite of success, it's the tuition we pay for it. Every great innovation, artistic masterpiece, and breakthrough discovery stands on a foundation of previous attempts that didn't work. The question isn't whether you'll fail, but whether you'll have the wisdom to learn from it and the courage to continue. Those who do eventually find that their failures weren't obstacles at all, they were the path itself. Think global, act fearless, expended in 550 words without subheading and conclusion. The modern world no longer operates within neat borders and familiar boundaries. Technology has collapsed distances, cultures blend seamlessly, and opportunities span continents. In this interconnected reality, those who thrive are not constrained by geography or tradition. They think on a planetary scale while acting with local precision. This global mindset isn't just about physical travel. It's a cognitive shift that transforms how we see problems, relationships, and possibilities. When you stop seeing yourself as limited to one place or perspective, entire dimensions of opportunity reveal themselves. True global thinking begins with cultural intelligence, the ability to navigate diverse environments with sensitivity and adaptability. It's understanding that business in Tokyo operates differently than in Toronto, that humor translates poorly across languages, and that leadership means different things in Dubai versus Detroit. This awareness becomes a superpower in our borderless economy. The most sought-after professionals today aren't just technically skilled, they're culturally fluent. They can collaborate across time zones, negotiate across value systems, and innovate across traditions. This requires humility to learn and confidence to engage, a delicate balance that separates global thinkers from provincial ones. Fearlessness in this context isn't recklessness. It's the courage to venture beyond comfort zones while maintaining core values. Consider how global brands adapt without compromising their essence. A restaurant chain might modify its menu for Indian palates while keeping its service standards universal. A tech company might localize its interface for Arabic users while maintaining its global security protocols. This principle applies equally to individuals. Your fundamental values remain constant while your methods flex to different contexts. The fearless global citizen understands that adaptation isn't betrayal, it's respect. Language illustrates this beautifully. While English functions as today's lingua franca, the most effective global communicators understand that words carry cultural baggage. The directness valued in German business culture might seem rude in Thailand. The elaborate pleasantries expected in Nigeria might frustrate time-pressed New Yorkers. Fearless global actors develop the sensitivity to navigate these nuances. They learn when to speak plainly and when to imply, when to move quickly and when to build relationships slowly. This linguistic dexterity opens doors that remain locked to those who insist on one right way to communicate. Technology has made global thinking accessible to everyone with an internet connection, but true global impact requires more than virtual presence. It demands what psychologist Howard Gardner calls respectful minds, the ability to appreciate differences without judgment. The fearless global thinker approaches new cultures with curiosity rather than comparison, seeking to understand rather than evaluate. This mindset transforms cultural barriers into bridges, turning potential friction into creative synergy. When a Swedish designer collaborates with a Kenyan artisan, or when a Brazilian startup incorporates Japanese efficiency principles, the results often surpass what either could achieve alone. The fearless global approach also redefines competition. In a connected world, your rival isn't the business across town, it's the startup in Bangalore you've never heard of. But equally, your potential partner might be an engineer in Estonia or a manufacturer in Vietnam. This expanded playing field requires constant learning and relentless innovation. The most successful global actors maintain what author Alvin Toffler called learnability, the ability to learn, unlearn, and relearn as contexts shift. They monitor global trends while cultivating deep local expertise, creating what management theorists call global advantage. Ultimately, thinking global while acting fearless is about embracing complexity without being paralyzed by it. It's recognizing that the same internet that connects us also exposes our blind spots, that the same markets that offer opportunity also present ethical dilemmas. The fearless global citizen navigates these tensions with moral clarity and intellectual flexibility. They understand that in our interdependent world, the most sustainable success benefits multiple stakeholders across borders. This approach doesn't just create personal advantage, it contributes to solving the planetary challenges that no nation can address alone. In an age of climate change, pandemics, and digital transformation, we need more people who can think beyond maps and act beyond fear. Hard work beats luck every time. Expended in 550 words without subheading and conclusion, the romantic notion of overnight success is one of society's most persistent and dangerous myths. For every viral sensation or lottery winner, there are countless untold stories of relentless effort behind what the world perceives as sudden breakthroughs. The truth remains immutable. Consistent, intelligent hard work outperforms fleeting luck every single time. This isn't just motivational rhetoric, it's observable reality across every field of human endeavor. Luck may open a door, but only sustained effort keeps you in the building. The prepared mind and disciplined hand will always capitalize on opportunities that the merely lucky cannot recognize, much less maintain. Examine any field of mastery and you'll find this principle demonstrated. In professional sports, while natural talent provides initial advantage, it's the athletes who outtrain their competition who ultimately dominate. Kobe Bryant's legendary 4 training sessions, Michael Phelps' 6-hour daily workouts, even on Christmas. These aren't stories about gifted individuals, but about practitioners who understood that talent sets the floor while work ethic determines the ceiling. Scientific studies of elite performers confirm this pattern across domains. What separates the exceptional from the merely good isn't innate ability, but what researchers call deliberate practice, the focused, iterative effort to improve specific skills beyond current capabilities. The business world equally rewards this principle. Silicon Valley's mythology loves the garage startup fairy tale, but dig deeper into any successful founder's history, and you'll find years of preparation. Before Apple's breakthrough, Steve Jobs had studied calligraphy, worked night shifts at Atari, and traveled to India seeking wisdom. Jeff Bezos spent years in finance and hedge funds before launching Amazon. These weren't lucky breaks, they were prepared minds recognizing opportunities their less experienced peers would have missed. Luck favors the prepared because only the prepared can recognize luck when it appears. The overnight success is invariably a decade in the making. Even in creative fields where inspiration appears magical, the work ethic principle holds. Picasso produced over 50 artworks in his lifetime. His genius was largely output. Mozart composed from childhood, logging thousands of practice hours before creating masterpieces. Contemporary research into creative productivity shows that quantity leads to quality. The more ideas generated, the higher the chance of groundbreaking ones. This volume theory of creativity confirms that what appears as luck is actually probability working in favor of the consistently productive. The writer who produces 20 stories has better odds of a masterpiece than the one waiting for perfect inspiration. The psychological dimension reveals why hard work triumphs. Neurologically, repeated effort creates myelin sheathing around neural pathways, literally making skills faster and more automatic. Behaviorally, the act of working builds grit and resilience that luck cannot provide. When challenges arise, the worker has calluses the merely lucky lack. This explains why lottery winners often squander fortunes while self-made individuals frequently rebuild after losses. One group earned their understanding of value through effort, the other received it without context. The University of Pennsylvania's landmark grit studies prove this conclusively. Perseverance predicts success more reliably than IQ or talent. Modern culture's obsession with viral moments and shortcuts creates dangerous illusions. Social media highlights results while hiding the work behind them. But mathematics doesn't lie. Compound interest applies to skills as surely as to finances. Daily effort accumulates exponentially, while sporadic bursts of luck provide only temporary advantage. The chess grandmaster defeats the novice not because of fortunate moves, but because thousands of hours of study have internalized patterns the beginner cannot see. The veteran investor outperforms because market cycles have trained their judgment in ways no lucky pick can replicate.